Close your eyes for a moment and imagine you're about to discover something that will change how you think about sleep forever. Right now, somewhere in your body, an ancient rhythm is trying to speak to you. A pattern carved into your DNA over hundreds of thousands of years. Your heart knows it. Your brain remembers it. But in our modern world of glowing screens and endless notifications, we've forgotten how to listen. Tonight, you're going to learn the secret that kept our ancestors alive through the harshest winters Earth has ever known. And here's what's remarkable. That same secret can transform your sleep starting tonight. But before we begin this journey together, I want to share something exciting with you. If you've been struggling to fall asleep, if you wake up still feeling exhausted, if your mind races the moment your head hits the pillow, I've created something specifically for you. It's called the 7-Day Cavemen Sleep Challenge, and it's designed to reset your body's natural rhythm using the exact principles our ancestors lived by. You can start tonight with my 1-Day Caveman Reset in the description below, or if you're ready to completely transform your sleep, grab the full 7-Day Challenge. Both are waiting for you right now. Now, let me thank you for being here. In a world that never stops moving, you've chosen to slow down. You've chosen to listen, and that choice matters more than you know. If this quiet corner of the internet brings you peace, hit that subscribe button and tell me in the comments, where are you right now? What time is it where you're listening? I love seeing how people from Tokyo to Toronto, from midnight to noon, all gather here searching for the same thing: deep, healing rest. Now, let's begin. 40,000 years ago, when your ancestors lived in a world we can barely imagine, something remarkable happened every single night. They didn't toss and turn for hours. They didn't check the time wondering if they'd ever fall asleep. They didn't wake up groggy, reaching for coffee to function. They simply slept. And not just any sleep. The kind of deep, restorative, dream-filled rest that most of us haven't experienced since childhood. How did they do it? That's what we're about to discover together. Chapter 2. The Last People Who Slept Perfectly. Picture a winter evening 40,000 years ago. The sun has disappeared behind jagged mountains, and darkness rushes across the frozen landscape like water filling a bowl. The temperature is dropping fast, each degree more dangerous than the last. But inside a cave carved into the hillside, something beautiful is happening. A small family of humans, your direct ancestors, are preparing for sleep, and they're doing it in a way that would seem almost magical to us today. Let me introduce you to them, because these aren't just ancient statistics. They're real people with real personalities, and their story matters because it's written in your genes. There's Ara, the elder. At perhaps 40 years old, she's ancient by the standards of her time. Her face is weathered, her hands scarred from decades of survival, but her eyes shine with the kind of wisdom that only comes from truly understanding how the world works. Beside her sits young Kova, maybe 8 years old, wide-eyed and curious, always asking questions that Ara answers with patience and humour. Kova represents the future, the continuation of knowledge from one generation to the next. And there are the two hunters, Ven and Tor. Brothers, strong and watchful, men who've learned to read the language of wind and snow, of animal tracks and changing skies. Together, they're about to do something we've forgotten how to do: surrender completely to the night. As firelight dances across the cave walls, Ara begins the evening ritual. She feeds the flames carefully, each piece of wood chosen with purpose. The smoke rises, carrying the scent of burning pine, and something happens in their brains that would fascinate modern scientists. The orange glow of firelight, unlike the blue light from our screens, triggers a cascade of melatonin. This hormone, often called the darkness hormone, floods their systems exactly as nature intended. But there's something else happening here that's even more important. Watch as the family moves closer together. Not because they're cold, though they are. Not because they're afraid, though dangers lurk beyond the fire's reach. They gather close because tens of thousands of years of evolution have taught their bodies a simple truth. Together, we survive. As they settle into their sleeping places, a layer of dried grass beneath, heavy furs above, their breathing begins to synchronize. Ven's chest rises and falls. Ara's breath matches his rhythm. Young Kova's smaller breaths find the same pattern. Even Tor, sitting watch for the first hours, breathes in harmony with his family. This isn't coincidence. It's biology performing a miracle we've lost. Scientists studying modern hunter-gatherer tribes have discovered something astonishing. When people sleep in groups, their heart rates synchronize, their brainwaves begin to match. It's as if their nervous systems are talking to each other, saying, "We're safe, we can rest." In our modern world of separate bedrooms and isolated sleep, we've lost this ancient comfort. But here in this cave, Ara and her family know something we've forgotten. Sleep isn't just about closing your eyes, it's about trust. Trust that the fire will keep burning. Trust that the person next to you is listening for danger. Trust that when you let go of consciousness, you'll wake to see another dawn. And with that trust, they drift into the kind of sleep most of us only dream about. Chapter 3: What scientists discovered in ancient Gul's caves. Now, before you think this is just a beautiful story, let me share something that will shock you. Modern sleep scientists, the ones who study insomnia and sleep disorders, have made a stunning discovery. When they examine ancient sleeping sites, when they study modern tribes still living traditionally, when they piece together how our ancestors actually slept, they find something remarkable. Prehistoric humans slept better than we do. Measurably, significantly, undeniably better. Dr. Jerome Siegel at UCLA spent years studying the Hadza people in Tanzania, one of the last hunter-gatherer tribes on Earth. These people live much like Ara and her family did 40,000 years ago. No electricity, no schedules, no alarm clocks. Here's what he found. They fall asleep without effort. They sleep in natural cycles that match the Earth's rhythm. They wake feeling refreshed. And they have almost none of the sleep disorders that plague modern society. No insomnia, no sleep apnea, no restless leg syndrome, no need for sleeping pills or white noise machines or weighted blankets. Why? What did they know that we've forgotten? Let's return to that cave and discover the answer. As the night deepens, something happens to Ara's body that rarely happens to ours. Her core temperature drops gradually, naturally. The cool air of the cave, the distance from the fire, the earth beneath her, all work together to lower her body temperature by precisely the right amount for deep sleep. Modern sleep scientists now know that body temperature is crucial for quality rest. We need to cool down to sleep deeply. That's why your bedroom should be cold around 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. But here's the problem. We heat our homes all night. We wear heavy pajamas. We pile on blankets. And our body temperature stays too high for the deepest sleep. Ara's body cools naturally, and within minutes of closing her eyes, she drops into stage 3 sleep. The deepest, most restorative phase. Her brain waves slow to delta rhythms, less than 4 cycles per second. This is where healing happens, where memories consolidate, where the body repairs itself at the cellular level. She'll spend nearly 25% of the night in this deep sleep. Most modern adults, we're lucky to get 15%, but temperature is only part of the secret. Listen to the sounds around Ara's sleeping form. The crackle of fire, low and rhythmic. The gentle breathing of her family. The distant howl of wind outside the cave. Even the occasional pop of sap bursting in the flames. Every sound is natural, predictable, part of the expected world. Compare that to our nights, the sudden buzz of a phone notification, the rumble of traffic, the hum of appliances, the neighbour's television through the wall. Our brains stay partially alert all night, never fully convinced it's safe to let go completely. Dr. Matthias Basner at the University of Pennsylvania has shown that noise pollution is one of the biggest sleep disruptors in modern life. Even sounds we don't consciously hear keep our brains in a lighter sleep stage, preventing the deep rest we need. Ara's world is noisy too, but every sound means something. The wolves howling, they're far away, avoiding human fire. The cave's echo, confirmation that the walls still stand, the fire's crackle, proof that warmth remains. Her brain, evolved over millions of years, knows these sounds that mean safety, so it relaxes completely. Here's something even more fascinating. The darkness itself is medicine. When full dark falls in Ara's world, it's absolute. No streetlights, no clock faces glowing, no light seeping under doors, just complete total blackness broken only by the small circle of firelight. Her pineal gland, a tiny organ in the centre of her brain, responds by flooding her system with melatonin. Not just a little, a massive surge that makes her feel drowsy, relaxed, ready for deep sleep. In our modern world, we've essentially told our pineal glands that it's always afternoon. The light from our devices, our lamps, even our digital clocks convinces our brains that it's not time to sleep yet. One study found that just 2 hours of tablet use before bed can suppress melatonin by 22%. No wonder we can't fall asleep. But I promised you something controversial, something that might challenge what you believe about sleep. So here it is. What if everything you've been told about 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep is wrong? Stay with me, this gets interesting. Chapter 4. The fire that controlled our brains. Around midnight, something happens in Ara's cave that would seem strange to us. Then one of the brothers wakes up. Not because something's wrong, not because he's had a nightmare. He wakes because his body has completed its first sleep cycle and there's work to do. He sits up quietly, moves to the fire and feeds it. A few sticks carefully pleated. The flames grow, pushing back the darkness, warming the air just enough. Then he settles back down and within minutes he's asleep again. This pattern, this brief waking in the middle of the night, isn't a sleep disorder. It's how humans slept for most of our history. Historians studying pre-industrial Europe found something remarkable in old documents. References to first sleep and second sleep. People would sleep for several hours, wake for an hour or two in the middle of the night, then sleep again until dawn. During that wakeful period, they'd tend fires, visit neighbours, pray, make love, or simply lie in bed thinking peaceful thoughts. It wasn't stressful, it was normal. Dr. Thomas Ware at the National Institutes of Health conducted an experiment. He put people in darkness for 14 hours each night, mimicking natural winter darkness. After a few weeks, their sleep pattern changed. They began sleeping in 2 phases, with a wakeful period in between, just like Ara's family. This might explain why so many of us wake at 2 or 3 a.m. and panic thinking something's wrong. Maybe nothing's wrong. Maybe our bodies are just trying to follow an ancient pattern that modern life has erased. But here's what's crucial. When Ven wakes, he doesn't check his phone. He doesn't turn on bright lights. He doesn't start worrying about tomorrow's tasks. He simply tends the fire and returns to sleep. The fire itself is performing a kind of magic on their brains. Anthropologists have long believed that fire changed human evolution. It gave us warm food, protection from predators, and the ability to survive in cold climates. But recent research suggests fire did something even more profound. It changed how we sleep. The wavelengths of light from fire are almost entirely red and orange. These warm colours don't suppress melatonin the way blue light does. In fact, firelight in the evening may actually support natural sleep rhythms. One study had people spend a week camping, exposed only to natural light and campfire. By the end of the week, their melatonin rhythms had shifted to perfectly match the solar day. They felt sleepy at dusk and woke naturally at dawn, completely refreshed. Ara's family lives this reality every night. Their circadian rhythms, the internal clocks that control sleep and waking, are perfectly synchronized with the Earth's rotation. But there's an even deeper magic happening here. Watch Ara's face as she sleeps. Behind her closed eyelids, rapid movement begin. Her fingers twitch. Her breathing changes, becoming irregular. She's entered REM sleep, the dreaming stage, and what she's dreaming about matters more than you might think. In her dream, Ara is tracking a reindeer across snow. She's following its prints, reading the story they tell, how recently it passed, whether it's injured, where it's headed. This isn't random imagery, it's her brain rehearsing crucial survival skills. Neuroscientists now know that dreaming serves a vital function. It consolidates memories, processes emotions, and allows us to practice skills in a safe environment. But modern dreams are often chaotic and stressful. We dream about work deadlines, social media, things we've never actually experienced but only seen on screens. Our brains are trying to process information that evolution never prepared us for. Ara's dreams are different. They're grounded in physical reality. The deer is real. The snow is familiar. The skills she practices are ones she'll actually use. Her dreams serve their evolutionary purpose, preparing her for tomorrow's challenges, and when she wakes, she'll often remember her dreams clearly. The family will discuss them, seeking guidance or warnings in the images. Dreams aren't entertainment to them, they're wisdom. If you want to know how deep their sleep truly goes, here's the remarkable truth. When dangerous predators approach the cave, when real threats emerge, they wake instantly. Their brains never fully turn off their threat detection systems. But for everything else, the small noises, the shifting temperatures, the normal movements of night, they sleep through it all, completely undisturbed. Their nervous systems have perfect calibration. They know what matters and what doesn't. They can fully relax because they trust their own instincts. We've lost that calibration. Our nervous systems are stuck in a state of hypervigilance, treating every noise like a threat, never fully convinced it's safe to sleep deeply. But what if I told you that you can recalibrate your nervous system? That the same patterns that gave Ara perfect sleep can work for you? That's exactly what the 7-Day Caveman Sleep Challenge does. It teaches your body to recognize safety again, to lower its defenses, to trust the night. You'll find the link in the description. But for now, let's discover what happens when morning comes to the cave. Chapter 5. Why Darkness Made Them Stronger. The first hint of dawn arrives not as light, but as sound. A bird calls, its voice cutting through the pre-dawn silence, then another. Soon a chorus builds, and in the cave bodies begin to stir. But here's what's remarkable. No one jolts awake. There's no alarm, no sudden shock to the system. Their eyes simply open when their bodies have had enough rest. Ara wakes first, as she usually does, but she doesn't leap up. She lies still for several minutes, feeling the warmth of the furs, listening to the world wake around her. Her cortisol levels are rising naturally. preparing her body for activity, but the increase is gradual, gentle. In our modern world, alarm clocks spike our cortisol levels instantly, triggering a stress response that can take hours to calm. We start every day in a state of emergency, and we wonder why we feel anxious. Ara's morning is different, peaceful. Her body wakes because it's ready, not because it's forced. Young Cover stirs next, snuggling closer to Ara for warmth before gradually opening their eyes. There's no rush, no school bus to catch, no schedule to keep. The day will begin when everyone is ready. This natural waking pattern does something profound for their mental health. Studies of modern hunter-gatherer tribes show they have remarkably low rates of depression and anxiety. Some researchers believe this is partly because their sleep and wake cycles are natural, unstressed, in harmony with biological rhythms rather than fighting against them. Every time we override our body's signals, hitting snooze, forcing ourselves awake, chugging caffeine to compensate, we create a tiny tear in the fabric of our mental well-being. Over years, those tears become large enough to affect our happiness, our health, our very sense of being okay in the world. Ara faces hardships we can't imagine. Hunger, cold, danger, loss. But her nervous system isn't in constant conflict with itself. She sleeps when tired, wakes when rested. This basic alignment might be more valuable than we've realized. Now, let me share something controversial that will challenge what you think you know about sleep. Modern sleep experts tell us we need complete darkness, zero light, perfect source, and they're right about the biology, but they might be missing something important about psychology. Ara's cave is never completely silent or completely dark. The fire always glows. Someone is always slightly awake, keeping watch. There are sounds, movements, the presence of others. And this might actually help them sleep better, not worse. A study at Ryerson University found that people who sleep with a partner often sleep worse in terms of movement and disturbance, but report feeling more rested. The presence of another person creates a sense of security that outweighs the physical disruptions. Evolution shaped us to sleep in groups. The lone sleeper is vulnerable. But surrounded by family, by the sounds and smells and warmth of other humans, the ancient brain relaxes its vigilance. We've isolated ourselves in individual rooms, believing we're optimizing sleep. But maybe we're just making ourselves feel more alone, more vulnerable, less safe. This doesn't mean you need to share a room with your family, but it might explain why some people sleep better with a pet in the bed, or why white noise machines that mimic the sound of other people breathing can be so effective. We're trying to recreate, artificially, what Ara has naturally, the deep knowledge that she's not alone in the dark. As the family begins to move, stretching, yawning, preparing for the day, they perform another ritual we've lost. They greet the sun, not metaphorically, literally. Ara steps to the cave entrance and stands in the weak morning light, face turned upward, eyes closed, soaking in the rays. She doesn't know about photons hitting her retina, triggering signals to her suprachiasmatic nucleus, resetting her circadian clock. She just knows it feels good and right. 15 minutes of morning sunlight does more to regulate healthy sleep than almost any other intervention. It tells your brain clearly, it's day. Be awake now, be alert. And then, 12 to 14 hours later, when darkness falls, your brain remembers, now it's time to sleep. We skip this step entirely. We wake in dim indoor light, stare at screens all day, and wonder why our brains don't know when to sleep. Ara's day has just begun, but already she's done 3 things that guarantee tonight's sleep will be deep. She slept as long as her body needed, she woke naturally without stress, and she exposed herself to bright morning light. 3 simple actions, 3 profound effects, but the day holds more lessons about sleep than you might expect. Because how you spend your waking hours determines how you sleep at night. And Ara's waking hours look nothing like ours. Chapter 6. The Tribe That Never Worried. By mid-morning, the family is on the move. Ven and Tor are tracking game across the frozen landscape. Ara is teaching Kova how to identify plants that stay edible through winter. Every action has purpose, every movement matters for survival. But here's what's fascinating, they're not stressed. In our modern world, we think of survival as constant panic. We imagine prehistoric life as endless fear and desperation. But anthropological research paints a different picture. Hunter-gatherers typically work about 20-30 hours per week. The rest of their time is spent in social interaction, play, rest, and what we might call leisure. They have more free time than most modern Americans, but more importantly, the work they do is fundamentally different from ours. Watch Ven as he tracks the deer. He's completely present, focused, engaged. His mind isn't wandering to yesterday's problems or tomorrow's worries. He's here, now, reading snow and tracks and wind. This state, which modern psychology calls flow, happens naturally in his life multiple times per day. For us, it's rare, something we have to seek out through hobbies or special activities. The difference matters for sleep. When your day is filled with presence, with engagement, with physical movement that has purpose, your mind doesn't carry the same burden of unprocessed stress and anxiety into the night. Dr. Matthew Walker, a leading sleep researcher, has shown that physical activity during the day dramatically improves sleep quality at night. But not just any physical activity. Movement that feels purposeful and engaging seems to work best. Ara's day is filled with such movement. Gathering firewood, processing hides, walking miles across varied terrain. Her body is tired by evening, but it's a good tired, a satisfied tired, the kind that makes sleep feel like a reward. Compare that to our modern exhaustion. We sit all day mentally drained but physically restless. Our minds are tired from constant decision-making, but our bodies haven't moved enough to feel genuinely ready for rest. We're tired but not sleepy, exhausted but unable to sleep. It's a unique modern predicament. But there's something even more important happening in Ara's day. Something that modern science is just beginning to understand. She's not worrying about the future. Not because she's carefree or naive. She faces real dangers that could kill her family. But those dangers are immediate and concrete. A storm coming tonight. A predator's tracks nearby, food running low. She can do something about these concerns. She can gather more wood, keep the fire bright, ration carefully. Her anxiety has an outlet, a purpose, a resolution. Our anxieties are different. We worry about job security 6 months from now, climate change decades in the future, social situations that might never happen, abstract, unfixable, endless concerns that our brains chew on like a dog with a bone, never reaching resolution. This psychological pattern, rumination, is one of the strongest predictors of insomnia. People who lie awake worrying tend to have the worst sleep quality. Ara's mind doesn't ruminate because her problems are concrete and solvable. When darkness comes, she's done what she can. The rest is out of her hands, so her mind lets go. Can we learn to do the same? That's what we'll explore later. But first, there's one more secret hidden in Ara's day. As the sun reaches its peak, the family stops to rest. Not because they're lazy or tired, but because it's simply what they do. When the light is harshest, they find shade and pause. This rest isn't sleep. It's just stillness. Sitting, talking quietly, letting the body recover. Many traditional cultures around the world practice something similar: the siesta, the midday rest. Modern researchers now believe this pause serves important biological functions. Our alertness naturally dips in the early afternoon. It's not about food or lunch, it's a biological rhythm called the circadian dip. Even people who skip lunch feel drowsy around 2-3 p.m. Ara honours this rhythm. She doesn't fight it with caffeine, she just rests. And here's the remarkable part: this midday rest actually improves nighttime sleep. It's counterintuitive, but naps of 20-30 minutes can enhance nighttime sleep quality rather than disrupting it. The key is working with the body's rhythms, not against them. As evening approaches and the family returns to their cave, they're physically tired, mentally satisfied, and emotionally calm. Their bodies are primed for another night of deep, restorative sleep. And tonight, something special will happen. Something that reveals just how different their sleep really is from ours. Tonight, Ara will dream, and her dream will change everything. Chapter 7: What Their Dreams Revealed. As the fire burns down and the family settles into sleep, Ara's brain begins its nightly journey through the stages of consciousness. Stage 1, light sleep, barely sleep at all. Stage 2, deeper now, body temperature dropping. Stage 3, the deep restoration we've talked about. And then, about 90 minutes after she first closed her eyes, something remarkable happens. Her eyes begin to move rapidly beneath her lids. Her brain waves speed up, looking almost like she's awake, but she's not. She's dreaming. And what happens in this dream state reveals something profound about prehistoric cognition and consciousness. In her dream, Ara is walking through a snowstorm. The wind is fierce, visibility near zero. She's lost, separated from her family. Fear rises in her chest. Then she sees it. A line of stones partially buried in the snow, human-made, a trail marker. She follows it, and gradually the storm clears. She finds shelter. She's safe. When Ara wakes in the morning, she'll remember this dream vividly, and she'll share it with her family. Ven will nod thoughtfully, recognizing the trail markers she described. The ancestors are telling us something, Ara might say. We should mark our paths better. Winter makes everything unclear. This isn't superstition. It's problem solving through dreams. Modern neuroscience has discovered that during REM sleep, the brain makes unexpected connections between ideas. It's why we sometimes wake with solutions to problems we couldn't solve while awake. The phrase "sleep on it" contains ancient wisdom, but AF's dreams serve another purpose too: emotional processing. A month ago, she lost someone she loved, an older member of the family who didn't survive the first hard freeze. The grief was sharp, overwhelming, but she had no time to process it fully. Survival demanded her attention. Now, in her dreams, she sees that person again, healthy, smiling. They speak words she can't quite remember upon waking, but the feeling stays with her. Comfort, release, peace. Rosalind Cartwright, a pioneer in dream research, found that dreams help us process difficult emotions, integrating them into our understanding so we can move forward. People who dream about their problems often wake feeling more resolved about them. Ara's dreams are doing this emotional work every night, keeping her psychologically healthy despite hardships that would break many modern people. But here's something that might surprise you. Ara doesn't dream about smartphones or cars or airplanes. Her dreams are filled with things she's actually experienced. Deer, snow, fire, family, sky. This might seem obvious, but it matters. Modern dreams are increasingly filled with media images, situations from television or movies, anxieties about digital communication. We dream about things we've never physically experienced, and our brains struggle to process these abstract scenarios. Ara's dreams are grounded in physical reality, which makes them more effective at consolidating memories and processing emotions. There's also something we rarely talk about: the collective dreaming of the family. When Ara wakes and shares her dream, others often say, "I dreamed something similar." The line of stones, the feeling of being lost, the sense of ancestors watching. Skeptics might say it's coincidence or suggestion, but some researchers wonder if there's more to it. People sleeping in close proximity, breathing in sync, their brainwaves partially aligned. Might their unconscious minds also interact in ways we don't understand? It sounds mystical, but quantum biologists are discovering that consciousness might not be as separate and individual as we assume. The boundaries between minds might be more porous than we think, especially during sleep. What we know for certain is this: dreams held significant meaning in prehistoric societies. They informed decisions, provided comfort, connected people to each other and to those who came before. We've lost that relationship with dreams. We barely remember them. We dismiss them as meaningless stories, and in doing so we've cut ourselves off from a powerful source of insight and healing. As Ara's dream cycle ends and she drifts back into deeper sleep, her brain has accomplished something remarkable. It's sorted memories, processed emotions, made creative connections and reinforced social bonds, all while she rests. This is what sleep is supposed to do. Not just rest the body, but organize the mind, heal the heart, and prepare the spirit for another day. And in the morning, when she wakes feeling genuinely refreshed, it's not just because she slept enough hours. It's because her sleep served all its evolutionary purposes. Can we reclaim this kind of sleep? The kind that doesn't just rest us but truly restores us? The answer is yes, but it requires understanding what we've lost and consciously choosing to reclaim it. Chapter 8. The morning ritual we forgot. Dawn arrives with soft light that gradually fills the cave. No alarm, no jolt, just the natural brightening that tells every organism on Earth it's time to wake. Ara's eyes open slowly. For the first few moments she doesn't move. She lies still, feeling the warmth of the furs, hearing the breathing of her family, letting consciousness return gradually. This transition from sleep to wake, this liminal space, was sacred to our ancestors. They understood that jarring yourself awake damages something not as subtle but important in the nervous system. Michael Breus, a clinical psychologist who studies sleep, confirms this ancient wisdom. The way you wake affects your mood, energy, and cognitive function for hours afterward. A gentle waking supports a calm, focused day. A harsh waking creates stress that compounds through the hours. Ara stretches, slowly, deliberately, each movement mindful. She's not trying to stretch, she's listening to her body tell her what it needs. Modern yoga and stretching practices are trying to recreate what humans once did naturally. Conscious movement that transitions the body from rest to activity. Then comes the most important ritual of all, one we've almost completely lost. Ara steps to the cave entrance. The sun is just rising, painting the snow in shades of pink and gold. She stands there, face to the light, eyes closed at first, then open, taking in the full spectrum of the morning sun. This is not poetic. This is neuroscience. The light entering her eyes travels to her suprachiasmatic nucleus, the master clock that controls circadian rhythms. This bright morning light sends a clear signal. Reset. It's day. Be alert. 14 hours from now, When darkness falls, her brain will remember this signal and know with certainty, now it's night. Time to sleep. This is called circadian entrainment, and it's the single most powerful tool for regulating sleep. More powerful than any medication, more effective than any sleep hack. Yet most of us never do it. We wake inside, we go to work inside, we return home inside. We see bright artificial light all day and never get the clear, unmistakable signal that daylight provides. Dr. Sachin Panda at the Salk Institute has shown that even 1 hour of bright morning light can shift sleep patterns significantly. For people with insomnia, morning light therapy is often more effective than sleeping pills. Ara doesn't know the science, she just knows it feels right. That's enough. After greeting the sun, the family eats a simple breakfast. Leftover meat from the previous night warmed by the fire. Water melted from clean snow. There's no rush, no eating while walking, no multitasking. They sit together, eat mindfully, and prepare for the day. This too affects their sleep, though they don't know how. Eating at consistent times helps regulate circadian rhythms. The act of eating sends timing cues throughout the body, reinforcing when it's day and when it's night. Modern shift workers who eat at irregular times suffer from circadian disruption that contributes to insomnia. Ara's regular patterns, waking at dawn, eating morning and evening, keep her internal clock precisely calibrated. As the family begins their day's activities, they're already setting themselves up for another night of perfect sleep. Because sleep isn't just about what happens at night, it's about the entire 24-hour cycle, the light you see, the food you eat, the physical activity you engage in, the stress you experience, the social connections you maintain. All of it feeds into the quality of your sleep. Ara's life supports deep sleep at every turn. Not because she's trying to optimize sleep, but because she's living in alignment with natural human rhythms. And here's the remarkable truth. You can do the same thing. Not by moving to a cave or giving up modern life, but by understanding which elements of prehistoric life are essential for sleep and which are just context. You need bright morning light. Step outside for 10 minutes after waking. You need physical activity. Take a walk during lunch, you need natural darkness. Dim your lights after sunset. Put away screens an hour before bed. You need temperature regulation. Keep your bedroom cool, and you need purpose and presence during the day. Find work that engages you, even if it's a hobby, not your job. You need to let go of unfixable worries. Practice acceptance, mindfulness, the art of doing what you can and releasing the rest. These aren't complicated, they're simple, almost too simple. That's why we miss them. We're looking for complex solutions, expensive mattress, high-tech sleep trackers, pharmaceutical interventions, and we're overlooking the fundamental patterns that shaped human sleep for hundreds of thousands of years. Ara is teaching us, across the vast span of time, that deep sleep comes from living a certain way. Not perfectly, not rigidly, but aligned with the basic rhythms that our bodies still remember. As the day unfolds, as the family goes about their work, they're participating in the ancient dance that makes nighttime rest inevitable. And when evening comes again, they'll be ready. Not because they force sleep, but because they've earned it. Chapter 9. When the world started waking up. As we prepare to leave Ara and her family, as the seasons turn and spring approaches, I want to share something bittersweet with you. The life they live, the sleep they experience, it won't last forever. In a few thousand years, their descendants will discover agriculture. They'll plant crops, build permanent settlements, develop complex societies, and slowly, gradually, they'll begin to lose the deep sleep that Ara takes for granted. Why? What went wrong? It started innocently enough. Farming meant surplus food, which meant population growth. which meant larger communities. More people meant more coordination, which meant schedules and roles and divisions of labour. Suddenly, you couldn't just wake when your body was ready. You had to wake when the rooster crowed, when the market opened, when your work shift began. The natural alignment between body and environment began to break down. Then came artificial light. First candles and oil lamps, allowing people to extend their days past sunset. The wealthy could work or socialise deep into the night, proud of their ability to conquer darkness, but they paid a price in sleep quality, even if they didn't recognise it. When Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, he famously declared that sleep was a waste of time, a remnant of our primitive past that modern humans should overcome. He was spectacularly wrong, but his invention spread worldwide, and with it spread the erosion of natural sleep patterns. By the mid-20th century, shift work became common. People working nights, sleeping during the day, constantly fighting their circadian rhythms. Sleep disorders exploded. Then came television, then computers, then smartphones. Each innovation pushed us further from era's natural patterns and deeper into sleep crisis. Today, the CDC calls insufficient sleep a public health epidemic. 60 million Americans suffer from chronic sleep disorders. 30% of adults sleep less than 6 hours per night. We're the most sleep-deprived humans in history, and we're paying a terrible price. Cardiovascular disease, diabetes, obesity, depression, anxiety, cognitive decline, all linked to chronic sleep deprivation. We've gained so much through technological progress, but we've lost something precious, something Ara had in abundance, the ability to rest deeply, naturally, completely. But here's the controversial truth I promised earlier. We don't have to accept this loss. We can't go back to caves. We can't uninvent electricity, but we can make conscious choices to reclaim the elements of prehistoric life that matter most for sleep. We can choose to get morning light. We can choose to dim our lights at night. We can choose to move our bodies during the day and rest them at night. We can choose to create sleep environments that feel safe and secure. These aren't small changes, they're revolutionary. Because in a culture that devalues sleep, choosing to prioritize it is an act of rebellion. Every time you turn off your phone an hour before bed, you're rebelling. Every time you refuse to sacrifice sleep for productivity, you're rebelling. Every time you create a dark, cool, quiet bedroom, you're rebelling against a culture that wants you tired, distracted, and consuming. Ara and her family never had to rebel. They simply lived according to the nature's design. But you live in a world designed to keep you awake, to keep you producing, to keep you scrolling and buying and working. To reclaim deep sleep in this environment requires intention, knowledge, and commitment. That's why I created the 7-Day Caveman Sleep Challenge. It's not just tips and tricks, it's a systematic way to realign your life with the patterns that made Ara's sleep so perfect. Day by day, you'll adjust your light exposure, your activity patterns, your evening rituals, your sleep environment. You'll feel the difference immediately. By the end of 7 days, your sleep will be transformed. The link is in the description. If you're serious about sleeping deeply again, if you're ready to reclaim what modern life has taken from you, it's time to start. But whether you join the challenge or not, never forget. Deep sleep is your birthright. It's not a luxury. It's not something you have to earn through perfect behavior. It's what your body is designed to do, what your ancestors did effortlessly for hundreds of thousands of years. If you're struggling to sleep, it's not because something's wrong with you. It's because you're living in an environment that fights against your biology at every turn. But you have more power than you think. You can change your environment. You can change your habits. You can sleep like Ara. Chapter 10. The Wisdom. Written in snow. As spring arrives in Ara's world, the snow begins to melt. The landscape transforms from white to green. Animals return, life burgeons. The family emerges from the cave they've called home all winter, blinking in the stronger sunlight, ready for the warmer months ahead. They'll follow the herds now, sleep under stars instead of stone, experience the long, light-filled days of summer, and their sleep will change with the seasons. In summer, they'll sleep less. The long days of activity require less rest. They'll wake with the early sun and stay active until late dusk. Their bodies adjust naturally, needing perhaps only 6 or 7 hours. This isn't insomnia, it's seasonal variation, another natural pattern we've lost. Modern people try to sleep 8 hours every night regardless of season. But our ancestors slept more in winter and less in summer. Their bodies remained flexible, responsive to environmental cues. We've rigidified our sleep patterns, trying to maintain the same schedule year-round, and we wonder why it sometimes feels forced or difficult. As I watch Ara's family walk into their spring future, I realize that their story isn't just about the past. It's a mirror showing us what we've lost, and a map showing us how to return. Every night, when you lie down to sleep, you're participating in an ancient ritual. The same ritual Ara performed 40,000 years ago. The same ritual your great-grandparents performed. The same ritual your children will perform. Sleep connects us across generations, across species, across the vast span of evolutionary time. When we sleep well, we're not just resting ourselves. We're honoring the deep wisdom of the body, the brilliant design of nature, the accumulated knowledge of millions of years. Ara never thought about sleep. She just did it. That's the ultimate goal. To make sleep so natural, so effortless that you don't have to think about it anymore. You'll close your eyes and drift away. You'll wake refreshed. And in between, your body will do exactly what it was designed to do. Heal, grow, consolidate memories, process emotions, and prepare for another day of living. This is what I want for you. Not just better sleep, but the complete reclamation of your natural sleep capacity. You deserve to sleep like Ara, deeply, peacefully, without effort or anxiety, and you can. Every change you make, every principle you apply, brings you one step closer to the deep rest that is your birthright. The fire still burns in your DNA. The ancient rhythms still pulse in your cells. Your body remembers how to do this. You just need to remove the obstacles and let nature take its course. Chapter 11. What modern sleep has lost. Let me be direct with you now. Let me speak plainly about what we've sacrificed in our rush toward modern life. We've lost trust. Trust that the world is safe enough to fully let go. Trust that our bodies know what they're doing. Trust that rest is productive, valuable, essential. Ara trusted implicitly. Her nervous system knew danger from safety, knew when to be alert and when to relax completely. Our nervous systems are confused. We receive danger signals all day from news, traffic, work stress, social media, but face no physical threats we can fight or flee from. The anxiety builds with no release, and it follows us into bed. We've lost darkness, real darkness. The kind that tells our brains unmistakably, it's night. Ara lived half her life in near-complete darkness. Her melatonin production was robust. Her circadian rhythms were clear and strong. We live in perpetual twilight, never quite day, never quite night, and our melatonin production is suppressed, confused, inadequate for deep sleep. We've lost connection to each other, to the earth, to the natural cycles that governed human life for millennia. Ara slept surrounded by family, their breathing synchronized, their hearts beat in harmony. The presence of others was a lullaby. We sleep alone in separate rooms, sometimes even in separate beds from partners, prioritizing space over security, independence over connection. We've lost purpose. The kind of purpose that comes from meaningful physical work, from survival itself, from being essential to your community. Ara's days were filled with actions that mattered. Food gathered meant family fed, fire tended meant warmth maintained, skills taught meant knowledge preserved. Our days are often filled with emails and meetings and tasks that feel arbitrary, disconnected from any tangible result. We're mentally exhausted but physically restless, the exact opposite of the state that promotes sleep. We've lost reverence for sleep. We treat it as an inconvenience, something to minimize and overcome rather than honor and protect. When Edison called sleep a waste of time, he spoke for a culture that increasingly values productivity over well-being, output over rest, doing over being. Ara never questioned sleep's value. It was as natural and necessary as breathing. But here's what gives me hope. None of these losses are permanent. You can rebuild trust by creating genuine safety in your sleep environment and by processing stress during the day. You can reclaim darkness by dimming lights after sunset and removing screens from the bedroom. You can restore connection by sleeping near loved ones, by maintaining social bonds, by remembering you're part of something larger than yourself. You can find purpose by engaging in work that matters to you, even if it's volunteer work or a hobby, and by recognizing that rest itself is purposeful, productive, essential. You can revere sleep again by protecting your sleep schedule the way Ara protected her fire, faithfully knowing that everything else depends on it. This isn't impossible. It's not even that difficult. It just requires changing your perspective on what matters. For too long, we've been told that sleep is for the weak, that successful people sleep less, that rest is something you earn after you've proven your worth through endless work. All lies, dangerous, destructive lies. The truth is that sleep is for the strong, that successful people protect their rest because they know it's what makes success possible. That rest isn't earned, it's required. Ara knew this instinctively. She never had to learn it because no one had convinced her otherwise. You have to unlearn the lies before you can relearn the truth. And when you do, when you finally reclaim your natural capacity for deep sleep, everything changes. Your mood improves, your health improves, your relationships improve, your work improves, your life improves. Not because sleep is magic, but because sleep is foundational. Everything else you want to accomplish, every goal you have, every dream you chase, all of it rests on the foundation of your nervous system functioning properly. And your nervous system can only function properly if you sleep deeply, regularly, naturally. Ara's people didn't build civilizations. They didn't write books or compose symphonies or invent technologies, but they slept perfectly. And in that perfect sleep, they maintained the biological foundation that made all future human achievement possible. You are their descendant. Their genes flow in your veins. Their capacity for deep rest lives in your cells. It's time to wake it up, or rather to let it sleep. Chapter 12: The Deep Rest You Deserve. We've travelled far together, you and I, from a cave 40,000 years ago to your bedroom tonight, from Ara's world to yours. And now, as our journey ends, I want to leave you with the most important message of all. You deserve deep rest. Not because you've earned it through perfect behaviour, not because you've checked all the boxes and followed all the rules. You deserve it because you're human, because your body and brain require it, because it's as fundamental to your well-being as food, water and air. Ara never questioned whether she deserved sleep. The question wouldn't have made sense to her, But you live in a culture that makes you question it constantly. That tells you rest is laziness, that sleep is time wasted, that if you're struggling to sleep, it's your fault, your failure, your inadequacy. None of that is true. If you're struggling to sleep, it's because you're living in an environment designed to prevent it. Your body is doing exactly what it should do when surrounded by artificial light, constant stimulation, irregular schedules, and chronic stress. You're not broken. Your sleep system is just responding to modern life exactly as we'd expect it to. But you can change your environment. You can change your patterns. You can reclaim the deep rest that Ara experienced every night. It won't happen instantly. Evolution shaped our sleep patterns over millions of years. You can't undo decades of poor sleep habits overnight, but you can start tonight. One small change, then another, then another. Get some morning sunlight tomorrow, just 10 minutes. That's all. Feel how it wakes you up, gives you energy. Tomorrow evening, dim your lights an hour before bed. Notice how your body starts to relax naturally. The next night, put your phone away earlier. Notice how your mind quiets. Step by step, change by change, you'll move closer to the natural sleep patterns that served humanity for hundreds of thousands of years. And one night, probably when you're not expecting it, you'll lie down and drift off easily. You'll sleep deeply, dreaming vivid dreams, and you'll wake feeling genuinely refreshed, maybe for the first time in years. In that moment, you'll understand what Ara felt every morning. That simple, profound sense of being rested, ready, alive. That's when you'll know you've come home. Not to a cave, but to your own body, to the natural rhythms that were always there, waiting for you to rediscover them. I'll be here, creating more stories, more knowledge, more pathways back to natural rest. If this video has helped you, if it's changed how you think about sleep, share it with someone you love who's struggling. Help them find their way back to deep rest too. And if you're ready to take the next step, if you want a structured path to reclaim your natural sleep capacity, check out the 7-day Caveman Sleep Challenge in the description below. It's everything I've learned about sleep, distilled into a week-long journey that will transform your nights and your days. But whether you join the challenge or not, remember this. 40,000 years ago, your ancestors slept deeply, peacefully, naturally. That capacity lives in you. It's not lost, it's just sleeping, waiting for you to wake it up. Or rather, waiting for you to let it sleep. Close your eyes now. Feel the weight of your body. Hear the rhythm of your breath. This is the same moment Ara felt every night. The same transition, the same surrender. You are her descendant. You carry her gift. Sleep well. Sleep deep. Sleep like the ancient humans you are. The fire burns low, the stars wheel overhead, and in the vast, quiet darkness your body remembers how to rest. Welcome home.